Hello friends, and welcome to my channel Simply Stocks, and today it is the question and answer session. So I have come up with answering all your queries that have come up over the last 1 week, and I'll answer all those in just one go in this video. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation, and people taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I start with the question and answer session, here's a small request that kindly support me on Patreon, and once you do that, it will help me grow the channel. It will help you also ask me questions, one-line queries on each stock or the markets that you can put up every day, and that is when you take the $10 Patreon membership. Also, you'll get to understand about my portfolio, whatever changes I make to the portfolio or any update that I bring to you before I bring it to the YouTube members. So kindly go through that website on Patreon. Now about the question and answer session, I would like to also let you know that you can email me if you have any queries with regard to portfolio or anything that you have specifically designed that okay, you want to buy some shares and you want to discuss with me. You can email me and we can work it out, something that we can discuss on phone as well. So you can email me in that respect as well. Coming to the question answers, and there have been a lot of questions came in, and thanks a lot for all the attention that you have given to my channel and asked these questions. So let's go one by one. The first question that has come up is from Sai Charan, and he asked about EICHER Motors. EICHER Motors is going to split shares, so whether it is a good long-term buy with respect to that or not. Sai, there is no effect of a split, so do not worry about a share getting split or anything. In fact, that would be even more better for a stock such as EICHER Motors, which trades at 17,000, 20,000 rupees a share, to be split into probably 1:10. That's what I'm looking at. So maybe it will trade at 1,700 rupees rather than 17,000 rupees. So more trading would be done in that, and perhaps more liquidity would lead to a further up move in the stock. So yes, overall the business is good. You can buy into the stock around 17,000, 15,000, 16,000. These are very good levels to get into. Hira has asked about UPL as to what to do in UPL. Very good company in the agrochemical business. I have tracked UPL since 2011, and at that point of time, I think if you take into splits and bonuses, it was at around 12 or 15 rupees or something like that. I don't know, I think 50, 40 rupees or this. It has become 10x from those levels, and since then I have seen the company grow. Although I sold the stock pretty early, probably at a 50-60% up move, but should have held it on, but you never know about what the company will do. But over the last 10 years it has grown by leaps and bounds, and yes, there have been issues with the company. There have been issues with some of its products getting banned, but they have other products that they sell globally, and I think the loss of the products getting banned would be mitigated over a period of time. So on declines around 400, very good levels to get into a UPL. Okay, so there's a question from Morningstar about Astral Poly, that how you see Astral Poly stock will do from the current market price of 850 in near future. Now, I'm not very gung-ho about all these pipes and you can say plastic products and any company which is related to economy in any way. So apart from one or two, say a paint company or a Maruti Suzuki in autos, I'm not very gung-ho going down the ladder into the mid caps or small caps in this space of you can say in the space of economy related stock or any of that sort. So what I believe is, if you have it, you're not in huge losses. Either you stay with it for the next 6-7 years and it should do well, or you need to just sell it off and buy into pure consumption plays, not the FMCG but consumption plays that I talk about on many of my multi-bagger videos, many of my videos in which I discuss about stocks and buying strategy, etc. So you can pick those. All right. Okay, so Abhay has asked that your view on BPCL, will disinvestment take place? What will happen? I think I'm very positive on BPCL, HPCL, Oil India, etc. I mean, these companies are trading at very interesting levels. For a 2 to 3 year time frame, it is a good stock to be in. Not for a very long term, but again, you can trade into the stock and buy it for the next 2 to 3 years. It will give you good returns. Okay, Jaya has asked about vinyl chemicals. Now, this is an interesting company in the chemical space, and I known it about say 4 years back, and it was doing well. But there are other chemical companies that you need to look at. So, if you have not bought into vinyl chemicals, you can perhaps look at Aarti Industry. You can perhaps look at uh, even something like Vinity Organics, and the best of them all, Pidilite. So people do not understand that Pidilite do not only make Fevicol, they also produce other chemical components. So buy the best in the business and just stay safe in the market, and you'll get decent returns. Okay, so Goa Music has asked, and this is an interesting question on the lighter note, so I just picked it up. How come with someone with so much of knowledge and you are not rich? Well, there have been a lot of you can say hindrances in my life, and that has led me to where I am at the moment. Mistakes that I have done probably in my life, and some of the circumstances that have gone through, and people do that. So there are responsibilities, there are other things that need to be taken care of, and that's why I'm in the position that I am in. I won't say I'm very poor, I won't say I'm extremely rich. Yes, I would have done better, and perhaps you people can help by subscribing to my channel. So start subscribing. Greater subscription will lead to greater viewership, and that will lead to greater monetization and better money on YouTube. That's one thing. I've done my masters from US and then returned back because of my mother's illness and things that are taking place, I mean, at home. So I don't want to go into details. So there have been, I won't say that these are any hindrances in my life for getting rich, and I'm not very gung-ho about money or going after it. But you people have really supported me. That's one thing, that the kind of support that you have given me, the kind of appreciation that I read, and I read virtually all comments. I'm not able to reply to each one of them because I don't have a team. I'm the only one here, and I'm taking care of some of the portfolios also of the YouTube members. So working on them, and unofficially of course, and not officially, but just in good faith, I'm doing that, and things are fine at the moment, and I believe that this medium, YouTube, would help me grow further over the next 2 3 4 years. So I'm patient enough, and hopefully money will follow. So I know that I have the credentials, and I had the credentials to be working in the US, but then things turned around in a different manner. So right now I'm happy with what I'm doing, and hopefully finances will also follow in line. So thanks a lot for that query. Okay, so please say about ASTEC Life. So that's the question from Gurumurthy. So please say about ASTEC Life and JINDAL Poly. What do you think? I would say ASTEC Life Sciences is good, but it has made the run up that it had to make. So now, when you're getting into the pharmaceutical companies, I have a different view from many of the large investors that are investing in the markets. So I believe that pharma will have a good rally for the next 18 months or so, but post that we could see a trepidation of that rally and consolidation. So it is not a 4 or 5 year time frame kind of rally, or pharma is coming back. About the other company that you have asked, so in that again I have the same opinion as with ASTRAL, as with other pipe companies, or companies which are related to you can say infrastructure or growth and etc. They can do well when the market goes up after the decline and everything, but the major money would be made in the larger and the mid cap, which are mid cap stocks which are related to consumption and which are pretty good in nature and producing 20-25% growth rate. These are not the times to get into smaller companies. I have always talked about buying better small cap companies. There are few, but to be a blanket buy on mid and small cap, I won't go ahead and do that. All right. Can you review ESSEL PROPACK Limited company, please? Asked Satya. I like the company. The return ratios are good. The margins are good for the company. Perhaps on declines you can buy it, but again, the fact is they are into the business of making packaging films and packaging material. You can say those packages that are used by or the covers that are used by the FMCG brands and other companies. They could be in demand. They made cardboards, etc. as well. It is a very good company as a whole, but will it perform very well? It depends on the demand on the ground, and I feel okay, demand will be there for FMCG products, but it won't be at the same pace as 1 or 2 years back. So you have to be content with that, but the company per se is pretty good. Okay. I want to ask you on Deepak Nitrite, at which level would be a buy? Would it be a buy? And Relaxo as well. So Sumit has asked about Deepak Nitrite and Relaxo. I've talked about Bata and Relaxo for a longer period of time. Relaxo per se separately is good, but I would prefer buying Bata on declines. Uh, Nothing against a company like Relaxo, but I think the major traction would come in Bata. It can hit new highs in the next year or so, something like that. About Deepak Nitrite, I have made my position clear, and this is only my personal opinion. You can take your own call with respect to the stock. I feel that the company has had its best quarter, and we could see consolidation from here. And if one quarter goes up and down, next one or the one after, then we could see the stock at 400. So I would not go ahead and just jump in on any sort of decline on Deepak Nitrite. Okay, can you do a video on Lloyd Steel as SAP partner? Well, maybe I will, but I'm avoiding these stocks, even if they are into making manufacturing products of steel, or they are into pure, you can say, metal space. Since I'm not very gung-ho about these sectors, I don't make videos. So I don't make many videos on the commodities. I'm not very gung-ho about it, although gold has done well. I don't make videos anything related with products of commodities which are which are governed by prices of the commodity prices, etc. Because I feel that it is futile to make such videos. So if the commodity prices go up and down, there's no point in telling you targets or telling you buy or sell idea with respect to that, because things change very quickly. I would avoid LLOYD still. I would still get into those 30-40 very good large and mid cap stocks that would churn me 18-20% return at least over a longer period of time. Okay, so Vajayant has asked about Vodafone. Interesting. So Vodafone has gone up from 3 rupees all the way to 12 rupees, and looks like it is headed to 15-16. I think the business will survive, and that's why the move has taken place. I still feel that Airtel and Reliance will eat up the market share of Vodafone unless something really drastic happens in Vodafone and big money, thousands of crores comes in. I still feel Airtel and Reliance are primed to have the best, you can say, decade that the companies would be having, unless the government just pokes pokes their, you can say, fork into it and says that they would get more revenue out of the revenue that the telecom companies are making, and so on and so forth. There, unless some regulatory thing comes around, I think Reliance and Airtel will make a lot of money going forward in the next 5 to 6 years. Okay, so SLV Ramesh has asked about India Cements. a good company, still in losses, may do well going forward. Marquee investors have got in there, and we all know about the DMart guy getting into it, Porinju into it, and there are many other people who are buying into India Cements, and that's why the stock has just roared past 100 and all that. But I believe corrections, you get into it, and don't buy the stock just because marquee investors have got into it. Do your own analysis and research, and have your own risk reward ratio available, and whatever your time frame is, and then look at a company and buy. If I were you, I would not buy India Cements. So suggest some agrochemical companies and their levels. Okay, this has been asked by Trumalesh. So uh, agrochemical companies, IOL Chemicals is good. UPL I have already discussed. Bayer Crop Sciences is another company. Dhanuka Agritech is good, but they have all run up. Any kind of declines to their 20 to 50 DMA are very good buying opportunities. So let them decline to their 20 or 50 DMA. Those will be the levels to get into them, and probably have a target in mind, and exit with a 20, 30, 40% up move. Except for Bayer Crop Sciences, all these companies are not very, you can say, gung-ho on long term. UPL, yes, probably, and Bayer, but others you can just trade. So Kaveri Seeds also comes in there, and there are other companies. What are your views on GSK Pharma, asked Arindham? Positive on GSK Pharma, even more positive on GSK Consumer. On the pharma space, I like, and I have always talked about Divi's, Dr. Reddy's. These two are good. Ipca Labs is good. Aurobindo Pharma, after getting those approvals, have been good, is good. So I'll make a video on a dedicated pharma sector as a whole, probably, in going, and probably make some videos on sectors, and let me know in the comment box which sectors you want. So some that come to my mind are chemicals, which I've already made a video on, but still I'll make one more, and pharmaceutical is another. These two sectors, looks and telecom, probably the third one, in which Vodafone is in there. So probably these are the videos that I would be looking at making. So after that, the question that has come in is from Raju. Your recommendations about Tasty Bites. Positive on Tasty Bites. I think it can be a multi-bagger going forward. It is a small company, so kindly do due diligence, and disclaimer applies. Around 11,000, it is reasonably priced. If you get it below 10,000, that is the best price to get in. I think once the global economy picks up, and the kind of products that they sell, and go ahead and look at their websites, and you'll know. Perhaps if Europe and US really picks up going forward 3-4 months down the line, this stock can fly, because then the demand of the products would be there. Although for the time being, packaged food might not be in favor, but again, then on another line, people will not be willing to go to the restaurant. So then again, packaged Indian food might be favored, as they can just heat it up at home and eat it. And when you heat the product up, then most of the viruses go away, so probably at a temperature. So in that regard, we could see a situation where things could be that the company would be able to sell more going forward because of this pandemic. So this could be pretty difficult for the next 2-3 months, but over a 5-6 year period, I think Tasty Bites is a very good stock to look at. Lakshman has asked about SRF. I believe SRF is a good stock, another of those chemical companies that I like just like Vinity Organics, etc. Declines should be bought into. So any 10-15% decline, any decline towards 3,000 would be good levels to get into SRF. Fundamental view on Tejas Network. Avoid Tejas Network. With the Reliance coming in, all these companies, even the likes of Sterlite Tech, are struggling, and Reliance have their own infrastructure, and the kind of expansion that Reliance is on to, and with the kind of investment that Reliance have got in, I believe all these other ancillary plays might just go deeply in losses or just go out of business. All right. Sir, what about Adani Green? Asked Amal. So he asked about Adani Green, and I believe Adani Green is decent company, but why would you like to get into a renewable source energy company? Uh, Probably get into a pure cash business type companies. I have talked about many in my videos. If you want to discuss more, you can email me. But there are many consumption companies which are not direct consumption like FMCG, but there are many consumption companies that may still do well over the next 5 to 7 years. All right, so this was a video on the question answer part. Kindly bring in your questions more, and probably in 1 week's time, 10 days time, I'm going to come up with another Q&A session and answer all your queries through a video. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.